Hello everyone, Imoto here, and welcome back to another of my Genshin Impact videos. Today, I'll be going through how the game damage system works, as well as how to use this so-called system to maximize your damage for your character. Have you ever wondered why sometimes your damage is much lower or much higher than you ever expected? Well, all of this will be covered in this video. The calculations for this are not very simple, so let's do it together. So now I'll just start off with how the damage formula for this game works. So the calculation for this is this whole formula over here. So there's various factors that affects non-reaction damage. Non-reaction damage basically means stuff like overload, electrocharge, superconduct, swirl, so on and so forth. So some factors that affects are character attack, that's obvious, corresponding damage bonus, this is like your physical damage bonus, your pyro damage bonus, your elemental damage bonus whatsoever, skill multiplier, your talents, character level, enemy level, defense drop from your constellations especially, as well as the enemy resistance percent. Okay, so basically, let's move on. So let's take this into a practical setting, shall we? So currently, I have my Klee over here fighting some level 61 and 66 Hilichos. So let's just start off with how the calculation for this formula works, right? Okay, so basically, I have 383 attack over here. This is my character attack, 383. And then right now, I have multiplied by 1 plus corresponding damage bonus percentage. What this means is my elemental damage bonus. So to check that, it's just over here, 14.4% for pyro damage bonus. This comes from Klee's natural attribute instead from any artifact whatsoever. So 14.4% is your corresponding damage bonus for Klee. Now we have skill multiplier. Skill multiplier is basically from your talents, right? So it's over here, skill multiplier. So my one hit damage multiplier for my normal attack is 83.0%. So that's my skill multiplier. Right, so I'll just plug in this value, 283 attack, corresponding, okay, pyro damage bonus 14%, 83% for skill multiplier, and then times, okay, this whole formula. Right, so this is just a formula derived by the Genshin Impact team. So how this works is basically to calculate sometimes why when you hit enemies with higher level than you, your damage is lower compared to some enemies which are lower level than you, why you hit the damage, like very high damages. So basically how this works is 100 plus character level. My Klee is level 60. Right, so over here will be 160 divided by 160 plus 100 plus enemy level. This is 61 because the Hilichos are level 61 times defense drop. So defense drop comes from certain constellations in the game. Right now, constellation for Klee, second one, have after hit by jumping Dumpty's mines with your E, decreases enemy defense by 23% for 10 seconds. So if you have this 23%, you can also put in the formula, but currently I do not have any on my Klee because I'm not whale. So my defense drop is like no drop at all, so I'll just put 1 over here. Right, multiplied by 1 minus corresponding enemy resistance percentage. What this means is every enemy have natural resistance in the game, right? So certain enemies have higher resistance than others. So here's a chart that shows the resistances of the various enemies in the game. So for instance, now you realize why when you use electro damage against electroassassins, the damage is very little, because there's 60, which is 10% plus 50% electro resistance, which means your electro damage is dealing much lesser than how it's supposed to be. Okay, now there are some negative percentages in the calculation itself, or rather the percentages for the enemy themselves. This means they're weaker to physical damage, that's of course, but how it works is negative resistance is resistance divided by 2 bonus damage. So if you have minus 20% resistance, you have 10% additional bonus damage. So this will affect the calculations a little. But for this case, I'm fighting Hilicho over here, a level 61 Hilicho. So from this graph, you can see that Hilichos have 10% physical and elemental resistance, which means I'll just put here 10% because Klee deals elemental resistance, right? So after all these calculations, my final answer is 163 for non-critical attacks. Critical attacks will be used this formula over here, which is non-crit damage plus times 1 plus critical damage percentage, which is 266. So let's find out if my Klee deals the actual damage presented over here. Yes, 163, 163, 163, 266. So what you can see is there is no variance in the damage dealt for the different Hilichos. So they'll always get that 163 using your first ability, 163, 163, and sometimes when you crit, you do 266. Right, so basically that's to this level 61 Hilicho over here. I'll just show you one more time. 163, it's always 163, it doesn't change. Only against the level 66, then I do 160. So for this 160, where it comes from is the enemy level. The enemy level over here, the formula will get changed from 61 to 66, which will turn out to be 160. Right, so basically this formula works this way, and what this can do is to help you focus on certain sets for your artifacts, especially your cup. So when your cup, right, over here, let's just compare between two cups over here. So I have one which is attack percentage compared to another which is pyro damage bonus percentage. So attack percentage, right? So attack percentage over here in the formula, okay, so attack percentage multiplies off your base attack. So how do you find your base attack? Your base attack is over here at your attributes details. So your base attack is over here, 244. So attack percentage will basically increase your base attack over here by the certain amount shown in the percentages, right? So with regards to that, attack percentage is almost always worse than corresponding damage bonus percentage, which is my pyro damage bonus, because the multiplier for this so-called damage system is higher for corresponding damage bonus compared to attack percentage, which is a part of this character attack. Yeah. So hence, in conclusion, let's just take that you should always try to find one of those corresponding damage bonus percentages, whether physical or elemental, for your character. Alright, so basically right now we also have crit, right? So crit is basically a simple formula, and average damage is how you calculate your average DPS of your unit without switching into other characters per se. So average DPS is non-critical damage. This is per hit, by the way, per hit and per usage of the same skill. Non-critical damage times 1 plus critical damage percentage times crit rate percentage. This will be your average damage. In conclusion, the formula over here will help you to build your stat that you want for your team for the endgame. Now, I will cover elemental reactions such as Swirl, Superconduct, Electrocharge, Overload in another video. And that's all for today's video. I hope you found this helpful, and please subscribe. It will really help me in motivating me to continue furthering content on this channel. Thank you.